Are you ready to get your fix?
With the Wicks here on this beautiful Monday, July 10th, 2023. We're back after taking a little hiatus because nothing is actually happening in the National Football League. We're kind of in this dead period, but there are 4 players who are currently looking for long-term deals, contract extensions that, well, at least 3 of them deserve, one of them not so much, at least in my opinion. But this was reported by Ari Mirov, where he said players who were franchise tagged this offseason have 1 week remaining to finalize a long-term deal. Otherwise, they can only play the upcoming season under the franchise tag. Now, the 4 players that are basically looking for a contract extensions are running back Saquon Barkley, running back Josh Jacobs, running back Tony Pollard, and tight end Evan Ingram. Now, out of these 4, you could probably assume which one doesn't deserve a contract extension, but let's go through it, right? Saquon Barkley, basically the powerhouse of the Giants in that backfield. He led that team to the NFC wildcard, actually the divisional round. It seemed like he was doing basically everything for that offense, even though Daniel Jones was doing his part and stuff like that. And going into this offseason, the Giants had a decision to make. It was either Daniel Jones or extend Saquon Barkley. They decided to extend their franchise quarterback, Daniel Jones. $40 million a year looked pretty sweet. But Saquon said, whoa, what about me? Where's my money? And let me tell you something. Saquon Barkley said, I'm not playing on the franchise tag. And I think he should probably take that back, even though at the same time, I do believe he deserves a contract extension. Look, last season, okay, after being hurt 2 years in a row, he comes back, had 295 attempts on the ground, okay, 1,312 rushing yards, 4.4 yards per carry, 10 tutties, okay? Saquon Barkley is a freak. When he's healthy, he's literally a 1,000-yard rusher when he's healthy. His first 2 years in the league, over 1,000 yards. Then he got hurt in 2020 and 2021. Didn't quite do much there. But then last year, another 1,300-yard season. Saquon Barkley deserves a contract extension. Maybe, you know, we've seen it this whole year. Running backs aren't getting paid. They're not getting the money they want and stuff like that. And teams are like, we can just go find another one of you. But when you have a game changer, like a franchise game changer in Saquon Barkley or any of these running backs that are, you know, big time names, you want to keep them around as long as possible. So if I'm the Giants, I'm looking maybe hopefully to give Saquon Barkley a 3-year deal at minimum. And then I'm not sure what the money would look like, but I think Saquon Barkley definitely deserves a contract extension. The next one would be running back Josh Jacobs of the Las Vegas Raiders. It blows my mind that this guy hasn't even been talked about getting a contract extension. It kind of seems like he's getting lowballed. They don't care really too much about him, and that could be because their new head coach from last year, Josh McDaniels, who comes over from that New England Patriots organization where they really don't like to pay anybody, especially running backs. And look, Josh Jacobs played in the Hall of Fame game last year. What type of disrespect is that? Okay, nobody, those are the third stringers, those are the rookies that play in the Hall of Fame game. You don't put your starting running back out there in the Hall of Fame game. But Josh Jacobs said, okay, that is what it is. It's just going to be a chip on my shoulder. What did he do last year? Oh yeah, 340 carries. 1,600 yards, 1,653 yards, averaged 4.9 yards of carry, and had 12 tutties. That's pretty damn good if you ask me. Okay, years before that, he's been in the NFL for 4 years, and he definitely deserves a contract extension. First year, 1,150 yards, 7 tutties. 2020, 1,065 yards, 12 tutties. 2021, 872 yards, 9 tutties. Then last year, we just talked about it, 1,600 yards and 12 tutties. Josh Jacobs has proven that he deserves to get a contract extension, okay? Like, I don't understand what the Raiders are doing. First, they have to let go of Derek Carr, which, yeah, probably wasn't working out, but they got Jimmy G, right? Even though he's pretty injury prone, it probably would have stuck with Derek Carr if it were me. And then you got Josh Jacobs, who's literally doing it all on offense. Yes, he got Hunter Renfrow and all those guys. They get rid of Darren Waller. The Raiders just don't know what they're doing. At least that's what it looks like, or seems like, kind of looking from the outside in over there. I think Josh Jacobs deserves a contract extension. Again, maybe a 4-year, 5-year contract. Give him as much money as you can so that after that contract is up, you kind of know what you're working with, and then you can kind of move from there, and you probably won't have to pay him as much after that. But I think Josh Jacobs is headed in the right direction. He deserves one as well. Then you're looking at the Dallas Cowboys. A new starting running back, Tony Pollard, comes in last year for an injured Ezekiel Elliott and absolutely blows us away. I loved what Pollard brought to that offense. I think he performed exceptionally well, way better than what Ezekiel Elliott had been doing the last couple seasons, where his stats were dropping year after year after year. And look, Pollard put up 1,000 yards last year, okay, 193 carries, 1,007 yards, 9 tutties. A year before that in 2021, 719 yards, 2 tutties because Zeke was there. Obviously, Zeke's going to be the starting guy when he because that's just how it was at that time. But I think Tony Pollard, at this point in time, he would like a contract extension, but I think he's okay with playing on the franchise tag. And I think the Dallas Cowboys are okay with letting him do that because, look, you really don't know what you're going to get. Tony Pollard hasn't really started in the National Football League. He did get the starts last season, but going into the year, he's never really been the go-to back. But what we've been able to see out of him the last couple of years, I think it's very, how do you want to say it, appealing that Tony Pollard might be a guy. He might be a franchise star at running back. You never, ever know. So I really don't think he's going to hold out in any way, shape, or form. I think he's going to play under the franchise tag, and then at the end of the year, they'll kind of reevaluate the situation. And if he does good, another 1,000 yards, over 10 tutties, I think he gets that contract extension for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the last guy we're going to talk about, Evan Ingram, tight end of the Jacksonville Jaguars, comes over from the New York Giants. Didn't have a great year, but didn't have, a bad year by any means. But I don't think this guy is going to get a contract extension. I don't believe he has what it takes right now to be a superstar at tight end. I don't even think he's a top 5. He could be a top 10 tight end, but it'd be real close. He'd be either 9 or 10, but I think there's a chance he could be 11 or 12 in that kind of tight end ranking system. But look, last year, 73 catches, 766 yards. Not bad, but only 4 touchdowns. Okay, Jacksonville found a way to make it to the playoffs after, the whole Urban Meyer situation. Doug Peterson comes in and does his thing. How you doing? Keep it moving. Evan Ingram, I think, should just wait, hold out, play on that franchise tag, have a better year, post 1,000 yards receiving, which is tough to do as a tight end, even though it's still very doable, but you need more touchdowns. You need to find a way to get in that end zone, not just chip away at the field, even though that's kind of the tight end's job, but you have to be available come the red zone, and I just don't think Evan Ingram was that type of player, so I don't believe he's going to get the contract extension, but I guess only time will tell. So 4 players have 1 week remaining to sign a contract extension. Otherwise, they have to play on that current franchise tag. You guys can let me know what you think about these 4 in the comments. Also, drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It would be much, much appreciated. Have a great rest of your day, folks, and you just got your fix with the Wicks.